I'm Janelle.
Andrew.
And we are home with the Hoopers, and we are excited to join you today just to kind of share some of the things that we have learned about full-time RVing with kids. We are entering into year 3.
So we started out with a 2015 Keystone Raptor 375 TS. We kept it for several years, had it primarily as a weekender, and then moved into it full-time for about a year, and then upgraded to a 2018 Keystone Montana 3950 BR. BR's for bonus room. We use it as an office and as basically a living space for one of our children. And then since then, 2 months ago, in October of 2019, we upgraded to a 2020 Keystone Montana 3855 BR. So very similar to the 3950 that came in our 18 model, but some changes inside that really helped us with how we use the rig. And obviously Keystone's trying to stay on top of the market. They've done a great job, getting with the times and, updating the rig. It's a lot lighter. They moved some stuff around inside, which again helps us with how we use the rig, primarily boondocking.
And so we just kind of wanted to share with you some of our tips that we've learned about this whole process and living in an RV full-time with kids. Kids are awesome. So one thing that we absolutely love about this lifestyle is being with our kids full time, and that was a huge driving force for us, and it's something that we didn't realize when we were living in our house and just kind of trucking through that like normal 8 to 5 life and living the American dream, that we were missing out on so much of our kids. And kids have this ability within them, and they are just driven to learn and always asking questions and so intrigued by the world behind them. And it's amazing because they are literally seeing almost everything for the very first time at such a young age. They've never experienced these experiences in their life before, and we are getting a front row seats of that with our kids because we are with them 24/7. I know that a lot of people, that sounds overwhelming to be with your kids 24/7 and not have a break, but for us, it's something that we didn't realize we wanted until we realized how much we were missing. And it really opened the door for us when we took our first big trip in our rig. It was a 3-month trip up the West Coast and back down through the Central States and back home to Texas. And that's kind of what really put the desire within us to make this a full-time adventure for our family and a lifestyle, like truly make it a true lifestyle change. And so that was a huge driving force, is that just your kids are awesome and you need to embrace them where they're at and just love them where they're at and learn with them and just do life with them, because you get one chance and they're growing up so fast and it truly does just fly by in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I enjoy spending as much time as I can with them. Now, don't get me wrong. once every now and then we'll have a break, and I'll take one of the kids and she'll take one of them, or I'll do the kids, both of them, and she can go out and have a coffee and kind of have a little bit of decompression time, and I'll do the same thing. But yeah, for the most part, we're with them 24/7, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
It is going to be loud, guys. So if you come into this lifestyle with the expectation of knowing that kids are loud by nature, they just love to laugh, they fall all the time, our kids wrestle, they fight and bicker, and we just have all the normal kid stuff going on, but it's compacted into 300 square feet. So the noise is definitely magnified, and we are not going to sugarcoat that for you. And it's something that we just have learned to live with and embrace, and we're constantly encouraging our kids and just giving them tips to change how they're acting and how we interact with each other to really make the noise not as big as an issue. One of our biggest factors is just our kids are like really loud walkers. So it sounds like a herd of elephants is like in here sometimes, with them just like running up. Yes, they do run up and down the hallway, and we're like really working on the walking in the camper. But even when they walk, sometimes they just have really heavy feet. And so it's definitely something that is just part of a kid life that you wouldn't notice in a house. But once you are living in an RV that has a different type of build and a different type of floor, it's definitely magnified. And it's just something that if you come into it knowing that and you've accepted that, it's something that isn't going to prevent you or detour you from this lifestyle. It's just one of those things that you just kind of have to know and accept, and it's just part of life, and embrace it.
And you can use it as a training exercise too, per se, because I work in the office during the day, the bonus room in our 3855, and so I'm I'll go in and out of conference calls, and I've got to do some stuff where I need quiet. And it allows them, you know, the smaller space also allows them to be aware that I'm on a call and be more mindful of what they're doing at that particular point in time, and to make sure that they're not disrupting my job and what I need to do to accomplish everything. But also letting them, you know, whenever I'm not on that, letting them have fun. I mean, being loud's not a bad thing. Let them express and have fun in life. So that's one thing that I kind of got away from this. They are aware. If I get on a phone call, I'll walk outside and just say, you know, like this, and they immediately, they're quiet, and they'll reposition themselves somewhere else in the camper, or they'll change tasks to do something a little bit more quiet.
And it's something too that has also been a driving force to help get us outside more too. I can really tell when they're going stir crazy, or we're just at each other a little too much, and it's like, okay, we need to like stop what we're doing, take a break, go outside, run off some energy. And so we definitely have like grown our love for the outdoors because of the space that we're in. So our next one that we have is adjusting to new family dynamics. And this kind of goes along with the noise volume, but for us, we had a lot of dynamics change. We moved from a 3,000 square foot house into 300 square feet. And so just the way we parented changed a little bit. We had to learn how to communicate with each other all the time.
Schedules of just getting ready. I mean, we went from having 3 or 4 bathrooms to having 1 bathroom. You know, there's a lot more. We've got one kind of hallway between the living area per se and the bathroom and our master bedroom. And so, you know, you learn to get around people, and, you know, you just kind of squeeze by sometimes. But everyone, you know, again, it's this kind of training exercise. It makes you aware, and you can't just bulldoze through any situation. You know, it's compromised for the whole family.
Yep. And once we started traveling too, we had to adjust. We became a 1-car family. And so we had to adjust to that dynamic. We had to adjust just lots of different ways. And so, and we still are. We're constantly learning as our kids get older. And I mean, we have 1 bathroom now. In our toy hauler, we had a bathroom and a half. And so when we upgraded to our last Montana, the 2018, and this one, we only have 1 bathroom and 1 shower. So even just kind of talking about our schedules and saying who's going to take showers first, and scheduling, like having the kids on a morning routine, so they're going in to brush their teeth, and then I can go in and get ready, and just really, it's like a constant state of communication. But it's something that we had to learn. It wasn't easy at first, and it's just one of those things. So if you come into it knowing like all that's going to change, there is going to be a learning curve, it makes it so much more smooth. So when we first started full-timing, one of my must-have items was to make use of our washer and dryer hookups. And we did install a washer and dryer into our rig. In all 3 rigs, we've had one since we went full-timing. And that was my own personal preference. We are definitely the minority in that. The majority of families that we've met do not have washer and dryers, and that's awesome. But this is definitely something that your family is going to have to decide for yourself, because if you don't do that, you're going to have to learn the laundromat life and really work that into your schedule and plan for that. It's not a bad thing at all. We used laundromats so much this last year, even though we had the washer and dryer, and that was because we were boondocking, or it was just easier. You can definitely it's much more efficient to go to a laundromat because you can do 6 loads of laundry at one time. Whereas here, I'm limited to 1 load, and with our power bank that we had last year, not with this new one, but last year I could only do the washer or dryer at one time. So laundromats are amazing, but definitely something that is going to affect your family dynamics, and you're going to have to prepare for. You're going to have to build in laundry days, and think about that financially too, because we came across some laundromats that are very expensive, and some that are not very expensive. But the ones that were very expensive, it like totally blindsided me, and we definitely had to adjust for that. So definitely something to take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Travel day prep. This is crucial. And this is definitely something that was a big learning curve for us. I think our first travel day, we kind of just like hopped in the car like we were going to the grocery store, and it was a disaster. So now we have learned, that I have to prepare. On travel days, I do all the inside stuff to get ready to go, to have the rig ready for the slides to come in and everything. Andrew does all the outside stuff. We pretty much have that down to a fine science, but getting the car ready for the kids. So our travel days last anywhere from 2 hours on average, I would say, to 8 on average, but we have done 12 to 14 hour travel days.
Don't recommend
it, but we've done it. We'll continue to do it in situations where it's needed. It's not something that scares us where we're like, absolutely, we can't do it. We can make anything work, but we also know our kids' limits and the expectations that we have set for them. And they know it too, because we pretty much stick to a very strict standard. They know what's accepted when we travel and what's not accepted. So I typically pack a ton of snacks. I used to have to pack lunches and dinners as well. And one of the big things why we changed out rigs to prep for this year is our new rig allows us access to the refrigerator when the slides are shut, and we have an outdoor kitchen. So I can start putting food into the outdoor kitchen or have food prepped into the refrigerator. So I'm not having to pack coolers and stuff to bring into the car and take up that car space. But if you don't have that option, it's definitely not something to deter you. We did it without that option. We haven't traveled with this new stuff yet. So we have done it without the options of the outdoor kitchen and having access to the refrigerator for 2 years. And we would have continued to do it. That is not something that was like a make it or break it, we can't travel anymore deal for us. But just knowing what your resources are and making use of them. So pack your food before you go. Have games for your kids to play, have coloring books for them, just some activities. Our standard rule for our kids is we do not do electronics unless the car ride is 5 hours or greater. At the 5 hour mark, we pull out the iPads, and that's just for us because our kids love the iPads and they do not get them often at all. And so that's a resource that we kind of keep in our back pocket on those long travel days that we know at the 5 hour mark. When we give them those iPads, they are literally quiet for the rest of the drive. It does not matter if we have 5 hours left or 6 hours left or 2 hours left.
Yeah.
That buys us time to just have peace and quiet. And another thing with that is invest in the headphones. They're cheap. I think on Amazon we got headphones for our kiddos for $12, but that way they can plug it into the iPad. They each have their own individual game they're playing or show they're watching, and you don't have to listen to it. So it really just lets us decompress and kind of start planning where we're going or where we're going to be staying. We don't do a lot of forward planning about RV parks that we're staying at or where we're going to be going to boondock next. We just kind of figure it out on the road. And so that really gives me like that last hour or two to kind of pull up the map and start planning where we're going and like what we want to see while we're there and what we're going to do. And so just knowing that travel days do take work and preparing for them is going to set you up for success. He does most of the driving, and by most I mean all. I have driven twice. So for him, I don't know if you have anything to add as far as like preparation as far as driving or what you like to have done.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my stuff is, trying to stay awake, but trying to be involved the entire time. And so she's really good about having me little snacks and drinks and stuff to keep me
Spotify
active.
playlists.
Yeah, Spotify playlists.
We love the music.
And then interacting with the kids, prior to that kind of 5 hour mark, any other things we're trying to interact with them, let them play together. We're obviously having conversations the entire time. But play road games. There's windmill, and we do the alphabet game and colors, and try to find stuff. Yeah,
they love when I do like reading aloud to them. And we also talk about the states as we're crossing them. We point out if they're awake. We point out the state signs and talk about the state that we're coming into, if we've been there before or not, kind of what is unique about that state. And so it's a learning for them too. Like we're constantly learning, and that kind of goes back to just like kids they are like sponges. They're just in this constant state of learning, and everything that we do with this lifestyle allows them to learn. Even when we're packing up on travel days, we get them involved. They help me pack up snacks. They help Andrew do the outside stuff, set up take down the blocks and get the camper hooked up. So just involving them in the process is key, because then it gives them value and makes them feel important too.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're while we're doing that, they're picking up inside, helping her kind of clean up before she does the major stuff. Obviously putting away all their clothes, kind of preparing, depending where we're staying as well. We may be staying and know that we're going to stay at a truck stop that night. It's going to be a quick layover, and then we're back on the road in the morning. And so that goes into our prep time as well. And depending on what rig and what floor plan you have, that can play into it, because you may have to pack clothes, or you may have to bring out bring out food, or you may have to plan on having to go to a restaurant or whatever. We have a lot more options in this rig, being able to kind of access everything But depending on what you're in and what your travel plans are, if it's a multi-day deal, then you may have to make some adjustments and just plan ahead, kind of think through that. Okay, I'm pulling in, I'm planning pulling in at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not going to want to do anything. I'm not going to want the slides out, this, that, and the other. And just plan, okay, if the slides are in, I can't get to this, or, whatever your situation is, just make sure you kind of think through that process. Mm-hmm. It'll make it a lot easier if you do it a little bit beforehand.
Yep. Organization. This is my weak point in life. I am not an organized person by nature, so this is something, and he can speak to that, it is a struggle. But I've learned, and this is something that this lifestyle really relies upon. The more organized you are, the stronger foundation you're going to have and the more successful you're going to be. And so it's a constant learning curve for me. I am still learning just how to organize our shelves when we travel. So now I have little containers so I can put stuff into there. So when I open up shelves when we get someplace, I'm not having like a avalanche of food fall onto my face, or we're not having stuff fall out when we travel. Keeping the kids organized so that they know where everything is. When I tell them at school time, they know exactly where their backpacks are. It's always in the same spot. They know exactly where their toothbrushes and toothpaste are. They know where their clothes are now. And that is something with this camper. We redid the office space to create a better clothing storage option for our kids, and a bed for Corbin. And just having that clothing storage for them has been such a night and day difference. Like now they have total independence with getting dressed in the morning. And that's something that we didn't have before, that we knew that we really wanted to change for this year of travel, to make our mornings smoother, give them the independence that they need and that we need them to have, and my sanity, because our last organization system for their clothing was not working. Yeah. And so this is something that we love. It's been a great change that we've made, and we're really excited to show that to you guys when we do our rig tour.
And less is more.
And less is more, absolutely. So that's another thing with this trip, is we were like downsizing even more. We've been in a constant state of downsizing for almost 3 years now. Almost in every stop I make a Goodwill run, whether it's a small like Target bag or a trash bag full of stuff. I'm constantly going through the kids' clothes, through our stuff, through books. Like if we're not using it, if we haven't used it, it's gone. I've had to get rid of any emotional attachment to things. All the sentimental stuff we do have a small storage unit for, and it's in there, but
it's healthy. You don't want to have an emotional attachment to a thing, unless it is obviously
exactly
an heirloom or whatever.
Yep. But when we're on the road, I'm constantly getting rid of stuff. And even so, when we're home right now, we've been at home base for the holidays, and we've completely emptied our storage and our underbelly. We've gone through that. I think we've gotten rid of 3 or 4 bins. Yeah. I mean, just a massive amount of stuff. I've gotten rid of a massive amount of stuff inside, and I'm going to do one more sweep this week before we leave too, just because I know that with the Christmas and stuff, that more stuff has come in that I'm probably not even aware of, and so it just needs to happen again. And if you know that, and just kind of live in that constant state of organizing and keeping track of what you have, life is just going to be smooth. It's going to be easy transitions.
Yeah, keeping it simple too. I mean, you want to make this your home and decorate it how you want to, but you can also get caught up in doing that, and that on travel days you're spending a couple hours tearing down little knickknacks and paddywhacks and everything. To keep it simple and clean and neat helps it be organized, and it makes it a lot less stressful on move days as well. You're not having to move all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I personally enjoy that, but along with the organization, we've made some changes to. I mean, the couch in his room, like she spoke about, we've changed out the bench at the kitchen table to allow for shoe storage. Do what works for you and how you use it. There might be minor adjustments. Obviously, Keystone's making these as a mass production rigs, which are fantastic, foundations for what, but make it your own home as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. RV life is awesome. And this is more of a statement for us than a tip, but it is a tip too, because whether or not you're full-timing or you're a weekend warrior or you just rented a Cruise America RV, this lifestyle is so cool.
Absolutely.
He grew up RVing as a child. I had never walked into an RV until we met, and I walked into his parents' Montana that they have when they were camping in it.
Raptor.
Raptor, yes. Yeah. They have a toy hauler, Keystone Raptor. toy hauler. And that was kind of my first introduction into RVs. And y'all, this lifestyle is awesome. The opportunities it has offered us, even when we were living in our house and just using our rig on the weekends, has opened so many doors. It has brought us so much closer as a family. It has allowed us to see so many amazing things that we would have never seen before. We just never would have done it. We would have never grown this love to hike together or to explore national parks together. It's really just built that within us. I did not grow up traveling a lot as a child. And he didn't really leave Texas very much as a child.
A lot of our travels in the camper were locally to state parks, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Which is fine. If that's where you're at and that's what you can do, just getting out and being together is key. But I can say that this RV lifestyle is truly awesome. It opens so many doors, just so many. And especially now, I feel like that it's become much more of a normalization in society. And so many people are welcoming RVs in. There's so many great resources out there that we'll definitely be sharing with you guys too. But some of our favorites are Harvest Hosts and Boondockers Welcome, which just pull in personal people opening up their properties and businesses opening up their properties for RVers to come and overnight along the way. And it has allowed us to meet amazing people. We have met some of our best friends in this lifestyle. We have seen some of the coolest places, gone to some of the coolest businesses that we never would have gone to just like on a Google search. If it had popped up, we would have been like, oh no, we're not going to do that. But it's just changed us. It has truly changed us. It's an awesome lifestyle and we cannot recommend it enough. Full timing or not, of course we love full timing. It's what we do. But just getting into an RV, now there's a thing called RV share where people are like Airbnb-ing out their RVs, which is crazy. I think it's so awesome. So there's so many opportunities for you to get out there and just kind of test the waters before you go all in and buy one.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's rental places all over the place as well. If you're wanting to try to rent something to take it for a weekend or a week.
Kids are adaptable. One of the biggest questions that we got when we started this lifestyle is, how are your kids doing? How are they adjusting? What about their toys? Where are they going to sleep? So many questions. And I can tell you that they 110% adapted way quicker than either one of us did. They just rolled into this lifestyle, embraced it, pretty much preached from the rooftops that they live in their camper. They pretty much told everyone, all their friends at school, all their teachers, they had no reservations. And for me, it was something initially that I was like, oh, like, it was so different when we did it. Like, people don't live in campers. And so I felt a lot of societal pressure from that end of being like, yeah, we live in our camper, but it's by choice and like kind of having to explain ourselves to people. And now I totally embrace it. And I've learned so much of that from my kids and I'm proud of it. It is something that I own with pride and it's awesome. But do not let fear of your kids adapting hold you back, because kids are so just adaptable and malleable and they love life. And if all they want is time with their parents and to feel safe, and all they need for that is a roof over their head and their parents. It does not matter if you live in 3,000 square feet, 300 square feet, 5,000 square feet, it doesn't matter. As long as you are providing them their basic needs, then they're going to adapt and they're going to thrive. Our kids are very young. They're 4 and 6 right now. When we first started this lifestyle, they were 3 and like 16 months. So if you have older kids, you definitely might get some resistance from them. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy if you tell your 13-year-old teenager that they're moving into an RV and you're all going to live in 400 square feet. But we have met numerous families on the road with teenagers and they absolutely love it. The kids love it.
Kids, all they want to do is learn all the time and they're soaking in everything. And in our specific lifestyle, being able to travel and see different areas of the country, every week or every couple of weeks. They're able to experience that each time, and it's learning, it's exploring. It's yes, we live in 300 square feet, but if you open our door, we're staying on 10,000 acres of BLM land, or we're staying with friends and we get to hang out with them, or right now we're with family. The setting's always changing, and that's not a bad thing. And the kids are adaptable to those changes.
And they're constantly getting friends too. And like a lot of the older kids that we've met, it's really cool to watch those friendships that they have, because the technology these days to keep in touch with your friends, and they'll do like pen pals and stuff like that our kids really aren't able to do at such a young age, but they now have friends like all over the world, and to hear them talk about the friends that they've made in such a wide age range is really cool. And so don't let the fear of how your kids are going to adapt let you completely cross it off your list before you even consider it. I mean, it's definitely worth trying. It is worth putting yourself out there, and it's just worth it.
Yeah, I mean, our kids they've got friends in Florida that they talk to all the time. We've met some people in Indiana, great friends now, and they've come and stayed with us in Texas. They're now in California. We FaceTimed them last night. And the kids get to enjoy and talk and say what's up. So it's been a great experience doing that.
Choose where you camp. So we do love to boondock. That is definitely our preferred way of camping. And so one major change that we made to our rig this year was setting it up for boondocking. Our very first rig, our toy hauler, we could boondock, but we had no additional accessories.
Yeah, we had an onboard generator with that one. It was a gas generator. We could run it, if we needed to, and then you had 60 gallons of gas on board. Our second rig, our 2018, we had an LP generator that ran off of the propane on the rig, and we had a 135 watt portable kind of suitcase solar panel, and then we had two batteries with that. So nothing fancy, but it did allow us to do quite a bit of stuff. I mean, we boondocked in Alaska with it. We did Utah with it.
Like, I did not stay at one RV park for 5 months probably.
Yeah.
Boondocking. So it really opened up a lot of doors.
I had a backup generator, obviously for rainy days, because our battery bank wasn't that big, and that panel was, relatively small for how we needed to use it. But it's a great starter kit. So now we've gone in and completely changed the game. In 2020 with this new rig. We've got almost 1,800 watts of solar on the roof. We've switched from 2 regular with the AGM batteries, and we've put 8 Battleborn lithium batteries in there. Phenomenal system. We've gone from a regular converter to dual converter inverter units. So we have 6,000 inverted watts, 3,000 on each leg. And so I mean it's a game changer, and how we had camped before, and depending on where we're at, if I needed to work all day long, if it was a Monday through Friday, we'd have to watch our power needs to make sure that I'm making sure my laptop's charged and my monitor's on, that type of stuff. And so we're cautiously watching lights and this, that, and the other. And with this system this year, it's going to be a complete game changer. I mean, we can run the air conditioners off of it if we need to. We're able to, if I'm in there and the kids need to watch something on TV, or obviously we went from a RV refrigerator to a full size residential home refrigerator, and so it's going to be a game changer. I'm so looking forward to it, and that's what it's about. Living life, living it out, being less stressed, and this rig, I feel, is going to completely change the game of how we've known camping. And so I'm looking forward to learning and growing with the new rig and seeing what it brings.
Cut back on toys. This is one that I just laugh at now. When we first started RVing, we had 6 bins of toys, I think.
It was everywhere.
And I had cut from our house. I thought I had done so good by cutting all of our toys down into 6 bins. And I was going to rotate them out so the kids didn't get bored of them. And I just had this whole system set up. Let me just tell you.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. We never ended up rotating because our kids did not play with toys. They are outside so much. All they care about, and it does not matter boys or girls, just from the families that we have met on the road, kids love to be outside. They love to explore. They love to touch the earth around them. Sticks, rocks, leaves, dirt, their bicycles, outside toys, balls, way more in use than our indoor toys. I can honestly tell you that if it's sunny outside and the weather is nice, our kids do not touch inside toys. That is by their choice. As soon as we're done with school in the morning, they're done with their morning chores, they're heading outside, and they're outside the rest of the day. I mean, they just love it. And I think that is innate within kids. initially. And honestly, now that we've cut back on the toys that they actually have, they know what they have, they know where they are, and they play with them all the time. And we have very open-ended toys. So just even the toys that you keep, just be very mindful about what you bring in.
Well, and having less toys too, you know, whenever you have so many of them, well, they get bored and they'll just go to the next toy, versus being creative with the few that you have now. I mean, we've seen their creativity in the last year skyrocket of how they're using
the toys that they have.
The smaller set of toys that they have.
Yeah, and just, we love to buy toys that have multi-purpose. So magnet towels are some of our favorites. Very basic wooden blocks, just blocks. Their little cars and Legos are probably those are really the only 4 toys we have in our camper. And dress up. They do love to dress up. That's just their age and stage, and they put on their superhero costumes and they go outside, and it's just like their imagination explodes. But just be very mindful about what you bring in, and bring your kids in on the process. When we first did this, they weren't really old enough, so I kind of did the toy weeding through them. But now, like just before Christmas came, I was like, okay, boys, let's sit down. We took out all their toys, and they helped me sort through what we were going to keep in the camper and what we were going to take out to make room, because they did get some new toys for Christmas. Yeah. And so we did make room for those. But
I want them to be involved in that process so they're not blindsided, and, you know,
yes,
they feel like they're making that decision
yes,
on their stuff.
Very important, because it is their stuff and they value it. And they, even though they're kids, they're individuals and they just want to be respected too. And so when you bring them in and let them make those choices, it really, there's no fighting involved then. It lets them have the independence and feel like they have a say in their life and their stuff. And so it's been really helpful. And less is more there too. Kids do not need a lot of toys. RV living or not, I stand firm by this. It's a lesson that we learned because of RV living, but it's one of the most valuable lessons that we've learned. $18 summers. We are given 18 summers with our kids. We have already blown through 6 of them with our oldest, which just blows my mind.
A third of the way through.
Hopefully we have 18 summers. We are hoping that after 18 summers, they are well-rounded, driven individuals that are ready to like go make their mark on the world. But for this, it really just strikes home for us is that it is such a short period of time, and it really does fly by. And for us full-timing and being with them all the time and homeschooling them, we didn't want to be restricted by the confines of a set break, of spring break, of Saturday, Sunday, of a 2-month summer. We wanted to be able to bring adventure into our everyday life, bring exploration into our everyday life, travel when we want to travel, build the flexibility into our lifestyle to make the most of our 18 summers and really expand those summers into 18 years. We just don't want to lose any time. Yeah. It's precious, it's valuable, and it goes by incredibly fast.
Well, and you're helping them be, you know, well-rounded individual as well, because while we are traveling, after quote-unquote homeschool's done, the official school, you know, inside, they're going outside and they're exploring more, and you're with them, and it's just a magical experience to watch them light up, or hey daddy, look at this, you know. It's amazing. And you know, when I started, I guess a year ago, you know, I had asked my now boss that I work from home, you know, be with the kids all the time. And, you know, obviously we worked out that deal, and I know some other people that have done the exact same thing, and they're able to travel with their kids. And it's about experiencing life with them. You only have those 18 summers until they go off and they're kind of their own individual. And so being able to help, you know, experience stuff with them, help mold them into, you know, the characters that you want them to be, but just enjoying life with your kids.
Yep. So just to kind of update you where we're at now, we spent the last summer traveling full time, and we started off and we headed to Key West, Florida, and then we slowly trekked our way up to Alaska and spent the summer.
The last entire year.
The last entire year traveling. Slowly trekked our way up, spent the entire summer in Alaska, came back down to Goshen, Indiana, where we got our new rig and watched that whole process happen. We got to watch the building process, the full body paint,
Meeting the team,
the Keystone team. It was just absolutely amazing. Partnering up with them, and just, which we love. We feel completely honored to be able to step in and kind of share this life with you and help inspire you, and just hope that we show you the value that RVing can bring into your life, and how it truly is priceless and irreplaceable, the memories that it can give your family. So we spent our time up there getting our new rig. We moved in. We headed back to Texas for the holidays. We surprised all of our family and friends. We didn't tell anybody we were coming home for the winter. We don't have specific, like we said, we don't plan. So all we know is that we're going west. Yeah. There's some people that we want to meet up with west. We're probably going to try to do Quartzsite, Arizona this year as our first big stop.
2020 is going to be our live it out year. You know,
yep.
go see all the western states. We're going to really experience, take our time and enjoy. We did do a 3-month kind of whirlwind tour in the west, 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. And we're going to really slow it down and go back to some of the places that we really enjoyed, we wanted to expand upon, and then also see some places that we weren't able to do in that time frame before.
Yep. So we're really excited to head west this year.